Face to face with the great white, they see teeth big as fingers and scars carved by a lifetime of killing.
At the edge of land, the fishermen of D. Triton prepare to hunt a great white shark, so huge they compare it to a whale. Their war machine is no pleasure craft, but a big hunting vessel built for fishermen who make their living far beyond the safety of the coast.
Every crate they drag aboard is another weapon in the coming battle with a 10,000-kilo great white shark.
Their captain has read these seas for decades, and today his waters whispered about in rumors of...
One fingertip on a trench miles offshore decides everything: the route, the risk, and whether any fisherman meets the monster and returns. Steel hearts thunder awake inside the Triton, giving the fishermen the raw power they'll need against 10 tons of great white muscle.
With a single low roar, the big fishing ship leaves the harbor behind, trading solid ground for a rendezvous with a giant predator.
As land shrinks to a faint line, only the fishermen, their ship, and the unseen great white shark remain in the story that matters. The morning paints the battlefield in soft gold, but beneath that calm surface lurks a shark big enough to swallow small boats whole.
These are not weekend anglers. These are hardened fishermen, arming their big ship for a shark that could tear lesser vessels apart.
One bad knot when that giant great white hits could send a hook, a line, and even a fisherman flying into the sea.
When the fishermen finish, the Triton's deck looks less like a simple fishing platform and more like a battlefield ready for a sea monster.
At first, the sonar only whispers about small life in the deep, not the kind of presence that could wear the size of a whale.
The fishermen know these screens like their own palms, and they watch for any sign that the deep is hiding something truly enormous.
Out here, even the birds watch from above, drawn to the fisherman's path through the territory of giants. Beneath the ship, the bottom falls away into a black wound in the earth, where only the largest predators dare to roam. Then a new shape appears, too dense, too long, too solid, and the fishermen feel their skin prickle as the unknown draws nearer.
Even men who have seen storms rip ships apart feel a jolt when they meet a shadow that should not be this big.
All fishermen to stations! We've got something massive under us!
They don't reach for toys. They reach for rods and reels engineered to hold steady when 10,000 kilos of shark pulls on the other end. To provoke a monster, the fishermen offer a feast, a bait so huge normal predators wouldn't dare try to swallow it.
Leaves the ship and plunges into the trench, a single line stretching from steel hull to the giant hunter below.
Out here, that line is a nerve, and every fisherman on board feels it, waiting for the great white shark's first touch. They have chased big sharks before, but never a legend like this, and the waiting feels longer than any storm.
Then the deep bites back, and the fishermen feel the unmistakable violence of a giant great white shark on the line.
It feels like a freight train smashing into his arms, but he refuses to let go, knowing this could be the only shot at the monster. The reel shrieks as the great white shark dives, stripping line like it wants to saw the fisherman's hope off at the root. The 10-ton shark pulls the entire big ship sideways, proving that this is no myth, but raw, living power. No single fisherman could handle this beast, so they fuse their strength into one, turning the rod into a shared spear. The line becomes a singing thread, carrying every furious shake of the great white's head up into the fisherman's bones. Below, the true size of the beast finally appears, a great white so huge it rivals a young whale, tearing through the trench in panic and rage. They feel the fight in every tendon and tendon, each second dragging the fishermen closer to complete exhaustion. From below, the fishermen look like warriors clinging to a single weapon against something old and merciless in the deep.
Harpoon crews, ready! Lock that line! We're not losing this beast!
When rods fail, the fishermen bring out older, harsher tools. Harpoons meant to bite into a great white's flesh and never let go.
The sea answers with violence, the giant shark rising so close they can feel its rage in every burst of foam.
In the dark below, the shark finally recognizes its enemy as the big ship above and turns all its hate toward the hull.
The monster erupts from the water, its head alone towering over the rails, proving that every exaggeration was too small.
One thrash from the 10-ton giant sends water, air, and fear flying in all directions.
Now, take the shot!
The harpoon flies like a steel promise, aimed straight at the heart of the giant's power.
Wounded and enraged, the giant great white throws itself against the lines in the ship, trying to tear free or take everyone down with it.
Keep its head away from the hull! Tighten the winch!
Below, 10 tons of muscle begin to tire as metal and rope drag on its every move, slowing the once unstoppable predator. The sea joins the fight, piling waves onto the fishermen, while the shark's rage still whips the water into chaos. Metal muscles join human ones as the winches drag against the shark's weight, trying to bend 10,000 kilos toward the surface.
The fishermen drag 10,000 kilos of great white upward, stealing depth and power away from the giant.
The giant shark lashes its tail like a living wrecking bar, refusing to rise quietly from the darkness. For the first time, the fishermen glimpse the full width of its belly, a ghost white wall that could crush a man against the rail.
If the monster throws its entire 10-ton body into the ship, desperate to smash the source of its pain.
A second sting of steel flies out, aimed to bite into the shark's moving bulk and anchor another line of control.
Keep tension, don't let it sink. Bring its head to the bow.
Inside the big fishing vessel, the shark's size becomes undeniable. It almost matches the ship's own length across the working deck.
They start to collar the giant, wrapping its head in loops of rope and steel so it can be dragged where they choose.
Rig the lifting harness. We're bringing this monster on deck.
The crane strains as if lifting a truck from the sea, its steel voice warning the fishermen how close they are to the limit.
At last, the giant leaves its world, hauled by the fishermen into unfamiliar air, where its weight finally betrays it.
Face to face with the great white, they see teeth big as fingers and scars carved by a lifetime of killing.
For a heartbeat, the monster hangs above them like a living storm cloud, its weight pressing down on their nerves. They guide 10,000 kilos of predator into the middle of their domain, turning the deck into an arena for the final act.
Laid out on the deck, the great white's true size is almost unreal, a fallen titan surrounded by human shadows.
The captain reads the scars on the shark and the fatigue on his crew and decides this catch will define their careers.
They lay out their knives like instruments for a brutal surgery, each one honed to cut through thick skin and bone.
From above, the shark's body starts to look like a map of yields and cuts, rather than a single monstrous form.
Each piece they drop into a tub is a hard-earned prize, carved from an animal that nearly crushed their ship.
They clear out the insides, separating what can be used from what the sea will reclaim as they throw scraps overboard.
Behind the big ship, smaller mouths feed on scraps of the giant predator, the ocean wasting nothing that comes from its depths.
As the sun sinks, the giant shark has already begun its second life as meat, memory, and story.
They seal away their profit in cold boxes, packing the results of their risk into shapes that will buy fuel, food, and time.
Secure the lines. Start the winches, take it up slowly.
In the quiet after the storm, they talk in low voices, replaying the worst moments and laughing now that danger has passed.
He adds a simple line to the ship's wall of memories, knowing this hunt will stand out even among many hard voyages.
At night, the big fishing vessel glides like a steel predator of its own, carrying the giant shark's weight toward waiting mouths and markets.
Secondary harpoons ready! Ready! Lock it!
Scene 78. Close-up on the bull shark's tail at the surface, still wagging, but no longer in wild arcs. Now.
Pull harder, cinch it tight.
It's secure now.
It's secure now. Okay, take it up.
Scene 94. Wide shot. The sea around the Triton has calmed. Swells smoother, the sky clearing into a clelly.
All right, heave. Together now.
Pull.